So every once in a while, a piece of home theater tech shows up that doesn't just try to compete with a TV. It tries to replace the entire idea of a TV. And this is one of those. This is a Valerion VisionMaster Max 4K laser projector. On paper, it sounds like a spec sheet designed to impress you in every direction at once. But the real question is simple. Does it actually deliver in a real living room, not just in a marketing slide? First thing you notice when you set it up is the brightness. 3500 ISO lumens is not just bright for a projector. It's bright enough that you stop treating it like a projector and start treating it like a display. Daylight in the room doesn't matter as much as you think it would. Curtains open, still watchable. Not perfect, but very, very usable in situations where most projectors would already give up. And that's kind of the theme here. This isn't trying to be a darkroom-only cinematic toy. It's trying to be a daily driver display. Now, let's talk image quality, because this is where things get interesting. We're looking at a 4K laser projection system with HDR10+ support, IMAX Enhanced certification, and a focus on black level performance that's actually trying to close the gap between projection and OLED territory. And no, it's not going to beat OLED in absolute blacks. Nothing in projection really does. But what it does instead is push contrast and shadow detail in a way that feels surprisingly controlled for a large screen image. There's depth here, real depth, not just brightness, but separation between light and shadow that makes scenes feel more dimensional than you expect from a projector in this class. And then there's motion. This thing supports up to 240 Hz refresh with an incredibly low 4 milliseconds response time, which is honestly not something you usually associate with projectors at all. And you feel it most when you're gaming or watching fast-paced content. Motion blur is reduced to the point where your brain kind of stops reminding you that you're watching a projected image. Gaming on a 300-inch screen, even if you're not pushing it that far in real life, is one of those experiences that sound like overkill until you actually try it. Then your normal monitor starts feeling small. But specs alone don't make a good projector. Execution does. One of the biggest issues with laser projectors historically has been speckle and color uniformity, that shimmering texture that shows up in bright areas and kind of breaks immersion if you notice it. Valerion's spec reduction system here does a lot of heavy lifting. It doesn't eliminate every artifact in every scene, but reduces it to a point where you stop noticing it unless you're actively looking for flaws. And that's usually the threshold that matters most in real-world use. Setup is also surprisingly flexible. You get an optical zoom range from 0.9 to 1.5:1, which give you a lot more freedom in placement than fixed short throw designs. You're not locked into one specific furniture layout. You can actually work with your room instead of rebuilding your room around a projector. That matters more than people think when they buy something like this. Now let's talk about the experience shift, because that's where this gets less technical and more emotional. A good TV gives you consistency. A good projector gives you scale. But something like this tries to give you both. And when you push a 100-inch to 150-inch image in your own space, something changes in how you consume content. Movies feel more intentional. Even YouTube feels different when it's not contained in a small rectangle anymore. It's not subtle. It's a different way of interacting with media. HDR performance is strong here too, especially with HDR10+ content. Highlights pop without completely crushing the rest of the image. You get that layered look where bright elements sit on top of a detailed background instead of washing everything out. Again, not OLED level pixel control, but very impressive for projection. Now, is it perfect? No. Like any high-end projector, it still depends heavily on your environment. Ambient light control still matters if you want the best experience. And while black levels are impressive for a projector, they're still not absolute. If you're coming from a top-tier OLED TV, you will notice differences in darkroom performance. But that's not really the point here. The point is scale, immersion, flexibility, and the feeling of turning a wall into a screen that can genuinely rival a theater experience. And in that category, this doesn't just compete, it pushes forward. So the real question isn't whether this can replace your TV. It's whether you're ready for your TV to feel small afterward. And that's the kind of upgrade you don't unsee.